North Korea this week launched what it claims to be a new solid-fueled hypersonic ballistic missile, suggesting Pyongyang progress in Pyongyang's efforts to develop a more powerful weapon system. For more, we have our defense correspondent Choi Min-jung here in the studio. Welcome back, Min-jung.
Thank you for having me.
Min-jung, walk us through what the latest launch was all about.
Right, North Korea launched an apparent intermediate-range ballistic missile into the EC on Tuesday morning. And according to South Korea's military, the missile was launched at around 6:53 a.m. and flew around 600 kilometers from the Pyongyang area toward the EC. And the very next day, North Korea claimed that it successfully test-fired a new type of solid-fuel hypersonic IRBM, which was revealed as the Hwasong-16. The test was reportedly overseen by leader Kim Jong-un, who announced that the regime has now made all of its missiles solid fuel and nuclear capable with independently controlled warheads. The North said the latest test was aimed at verifying the weapon system's reliability, and it also noted that the missile traveled around 1,000 kilometers. However, the South Korean military dismissed Pyongyang's claims on the flight distance, describing them as being exaggerated. As detected in its initial analysis, South Korea assessed that the missile traveled only about 600 kilometers and denied speculation that the military's radar systems were unable to fully track the missile.
Right, there seems to be some sort of inconsistency there. Now, South Korea's military, however, did admit some technological progress in the regime's weapon system, right?
Right, the military did spot an enhanced missile capabilities. North Korea previously test-fired a solid-fuel hypersonic IRBM in January, and last month, the regime claimed success in a ground test of a solid-fuel engine for a new medium to long-range hypersonic missile. Military officials said Tuesday's launch appears to be an upgrade from January's test firing with the newly tested solid-fuel engine.
The latest launch is believed to be related to the solid-fuel engine ground test that North Korea publicly revealed in March.
However, Seoul's military said it would take some time for the North to deploy hypersonic missiles that can maneuver perfectly. And an expert added that we should brace for more test launches in the future.
Since North Korea pledged to develop hypersonic missiles in 2021, it has gone through a lot of trial and error. For the first time, North Korea has tested the specific form of hypersonic missile that it's been aiming for. It will likely test-fire the missile 2 to 3 more times.
The expert added that the North is also likely to start developing hypersonic intercontinental ballistic missiles, which are longer-range missiles aimed at targeting the U.S. mainland.
So longer-range ICBMs to target the U.S. mainland. But Min-jung, I have to ask you, why is the North so focused on developing relatively shorter IRBMs that are solid fuel and hypersonic?
Well, North Korea's ICBMs are mainly designed to reach the U.S. mainland, like you said, but IRBMs are weapon systems capable of targeting U.S. military bases in Guam or Japan, which are both relatively closer to Pyongyang. And the regime has been putting a lot of effort into developing hypersonic missiles, as they are designed to travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound, and they often maneuver at relatively low altitudes, making them harder to detect and intercept. North Korea has also been developing solid-fuel missiles, as they can be launched quickly with little preparation compared to liquid-fuel ones.
And of course, South Korea reacted to the North's launch. In fact, President Yoon Suk-yeol spoke up, pointing out the launch was aimed at dividing the South.
Right, North Korea has previously staged provocations before general elections in South Korea, and President Yoon Suk-yeol said Pyongyang's attempts to divide the nation and interfere with next week's general election will only tighten unity in South Korea.
이러한 도발은 우리 국민들의 마음을 더 단단히 하나로 묶을 뿐입니다. 우리 군은 북한의 추가 도발에 대비해 만반의 안보 태세를 유지하기 바랍니다.
The nuclear envoys of Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo also condemned North Korea for its recent missile test and agreed to continue close cooperation to curb Pyongyang's threats ahead of the upcoming election.
On top of all this, North Korea is allegedly accused of doing arms transfers to Russia. And that's why South Korea slapped new sanctions on these Russian ships. Let's talk about that.
Right, Demi. South Korea has slapped sanctions on 2 Russian vessels involved in shipping arms between Pyongyang and Moscow. Announcing this on Tuesday, the Foreign Ministry stressed that the government and the international community have continuously urged North Korea and Russia to halt such military cooperation. South Korea also sanctioned 2 Russian companies and the heads of both, accused of helping North Korea earn foreign currency by illegally sending its IT workers overseas. The sanctions come as the U.S. this week said that Pyongyang continues to provide military support to Moscow amid the prolonged war in Ukraine, and that the partnership between the 2 sides continues to flourish. In response to the sanctions, Russia's foreign ministry slammed South Korea's decision and vowed to take action in response to what they called the unfriendly step. Moscow warned South Korea would face negative consequences without elaborating further.
From missile provocations to arms transfers, we do hope there is an end to these North Korean threats. All right, Min-jung, thank you so much for the wrap-up today.
My pleasure.